Hey, friends, welcome to the show. We are live today. Yep. No, we can make no mistakes. Just kidding. We're probably going to, talk about some things that are really, really important. But I'm your host, and wow, today we have an absolute treat. Um, we're, we're, we're going international. We've never done that before. The show has never gone international before. So I'm joined right now by Kevin Weaver, president of and CEO of Georgian College in Ontario. That would be in Canada, folks, for those that had trouble in eighth grade geography, right? Kevin, welcome to our delightfully energetic American live stream experience today.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm honored. I have to say, I'm really honored to be your first international guest on the show. Looking forward to
Well, don't screw up. I mean, you got to you're setting the bar for the rest of them.
it. I'll try not to.
Yeah, Kevin and I we've connected in the past, and the reason why I wanted him to come on to this show is as we look at comparing and contrasting what's happening in education. I've studied some of the things happening in European education, but I didn't know a whole lot about what was happening just north. I'm a Minnesota guy, so I can kind of smell you. I I go fishing in Ontario, right? I rode my bicycle around the biggest freshwater lake in
Nice.
the Americas, right? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And logging trucks, they still scare me because I they didn't give me as much room as I needed. But yeah, let's be real. Our president and your leader, and I'm going to differentiate the two. Our president and your leader had a little bit of a exchange just a few weeks ago, and I think all of America just stood up and went, "Watch," just watched, almost like your leader said, "Would you hold my Tim Horton?" Right? I got I need to just be resolute, and that just must have it made us proud as Americans, but it must have made you proud as a Canadian as well, boss.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am a proud Canadian for sure, and Canadians are we are proud people for sure. We're proud of our country, and we're pleased to share what has been a great relationship, and we're certainly looking forward to continue a great relationship with our friends in the U.S.
Yes.
But absolutely, we are proud.
Well, we're all wondering what's in the water up there. I mentioned before the show started that my kids have always had this affinity for, Canadian way of life, and it really is. It's a way of life, and I think that culture also has some deep rooted foundation in how your educational system um, has been developed as well. So yeah, not only beating us up in hockey on a regular basis, I think there's a lot that we should be learning from you in the world of how education really works. So yeah, so maybe some compare and contrast here, which is a fantastic instructional strategy. Our current situation in the US, and this might not alarm you. I know you're well read, but they're saying the prognosticators are saying that 80 colleges could close by next year. 80. I mean, there's been quite a few that have closed over the last couple of years, but we could be losing up to 80 more. And enrollment has been in decline since 2010, just a steady tick down. Um, I think 74%, I'm looking at the report here, 74% of higher ed leaders say that money is their biggest problem. um, our college presidents are burning out faster than TikTok trends these days. I don't know what the average tenure is in Canada, but I did ask that across a panel of presidents the other day, and they said 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years is kind of where it's at right now. So we've got quite a bit. Let's just call it just a lot of creative tension happening between funky politics and what we're really just trying to pull off in terms of just graduation rates and retention rates and enrollment and quality programs that are in demand. So all of that, I don't know if from your vantage point up north, you definitely have a pretty good view from there. What's your perspective on all of this, Kevin, as you peer down south?
Yeah, it's certainly, as you said, Joe, watching it, not from that far away, of course, but watching what's happening, and we're facing, and perhaps we can get into this a little more, but we're facing challenges in Canada as well, and I would say, fiscal and political are the two big drivers of those challenges. I think it's a shame. I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I mean, I wouldn't have spent 20 plus years in higher ed if I didn't believe in the power of higher education. I mean, I truly believe, education transforms lives. It opens doors. It creates access and levels the playing field for so many. And to watch it under such pressure,
Yeah.
to make financial decisions though that may not be in the best interest of the medium and long term success of the economy or society at large. I mean, those are tough things to see and read about. And as you said, when you have institutions in the U.S. that are closing, what worries me always is, where are those students that would normally attend that institution, where are they going to access education, and what happens if they can't?
And on the other side of that, your partners in your community, your business partners, how yes, automation is the new game in town, but we still need qualified people to be able to problem
Absolutely.
solve around all of that as well. So it's a double whammy.
It really is. Yeah, you lose your workforce. You lose, the economic driver and the thought leadership. I mean, we all play a role in higher ed of just driving thought leadership in many of our communities, especially when you get into the smaller areas. I mean, our main campus, and we have 7 campuses spread across quite a geography actually of central Ontario. My furthest campus away, just to give an example, is about a 2-hour drive.
Wow.
So our largest campus is in an urban area of about 150,000 people, but that's our biggest community, and it goes down very quickly from there. And when you look at these communities, we are typically a large employer. We're an economic driver. We help with social change and thought leadership, and of course feed the economy. So yeah, you just have ripples and ripples and ripples of negative impacts when access to post secondary is compromised.
Well, I was looking at some of your highlight reel there as well, and you say just the economic prosperity that you've been a part of helping to generate. Yes, I
Yeah,
mean there are others involved, but you are one of the core ripples.
yeah.
I would say 1.7 billion economic impact for your entire region. That billion,
Billion.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's much different than million. If you've ever done the math and actually like did the math between millions and billions, yeah, that's jarring, sir.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big number, and we use a third party economic firm to validate. But yeah, they look at our footprint, they look at our spending, our student population, full time, part time, and also alumni. And as the alumni, because we're a college that focus, like our raison d'etre is really about regional economy. So we're focused on programs, bringing in students, graduating students who are equipped to work in the regional economy. It doesn't mean they all stay in the area. Of course, it's people travel throughout the world, and
Sure.
we help them on that journey. But we know that majority of our grads do stay within the region, and so that's also part of that number. But yeah, it is a big number.
And 90.3, or yeah,
Great.
90.3% of your graduates get jobs. That's a bold print on a billboard.
Yeah, yeah,
You come here, we'll help you get there.
yeah. That's been a strength of Georgian College for many many years. In fact, for over 25 years, we do that stat in the province. There's 24 Ontario community colleges, and we've been above the provincial average for 25 years. We put a lot of effort into ensuring that we have that alignment with labor market, that we're helping our students. And yeah, I'm so proud of what I affectionately call Team Georgian. That's just the way I talk about. I'm a sports fanatic, and so team kind of infiltrates kind of everything I do in my mentality, and it's just phenomenal. We're really really proud of that stat.
Well, my guess is, how many years have you been at the helm there, boss?
So I'm just coming up on 3
3.
years in this role, and I've
Yeah.
been 11 plus in the institution in a variety of roles. But yeah, just coming up on my third
Well,
year.
after 3
Uh,
years,
yeah.
I study leaders and leadership teams and the dynamics around systems, and when you reach that 3-year mark is typically when that inflection point, even
Mhm.
though you came up through the organization,
Right.
you understood the nuts and bolts of how culture, climate, your partners, and all the
Mhm.
people, all of that came together. There's something magical about that 3-year mark that just begins the 10x journey and or the trajectory. So I'm really really excited about everything that you got going on. But the one in particular in the U.S., we all of us are gunning to be the best.
Mhm.
We're gonna be the best workforce college, or we're gonna be the best transfer college. We're gonna get 100% of our best. You've got a tag that says you're the only. Which
Mhm.
I okay, yeah, you win. If you're the only, that's far
Mhm.
exceeding, anything best, but that change maker college, tell me a little bit, tell our audience a little bit about what is that all about and how is that making a difference on campus?
Yeah, we're, again, a designation. We are really proud of being the only. So we're the only college in the country of Canada that has this designation. There are some universities with the designation, and to get the Changemaker College designation, there's an organization called Ashoka U, and Ashoka U, like many types of accreditation or certifications, they do a look periodically, usually on a 3 to 5 year time scale, at what we're doing as an organization. And it's right from leadership to policies to truly for us, it's about opportunities for our students. So, what our promise is to our students is you will not only come to Georgian and earn those core vocational skills, the skills
Mm,
that will help you get the job in the workplace, but that will we will infuse a change maker mindset where you're going to go out into society and not just in the workplace, but you're going to ask some questions like why do we have food insecurity?
mm,
Why, how do I make the world a better place? Why do we do it this way? So it's not just about the job, it's about a bigger contribution to society. And so we've tried to embed that in all that we do within in the curriculum, but we've also provided a variety of activities outside the classroom. So our students will come together and we'll do, hackathons, and we'll do. We've got these innovation labs where folks come together and they're problem solving and they're tackling some big, hairy, ambitious goals.
the BHAG.
Yeah, the big egg in society, and it's phenomenal to watch because we have students from over 83 countries that study at Georgian College, and we have age demographics that go right from direct from high school up into 56-year-olds studying at the institution. When you get diversity of thought in a
Mm,
room to start solving some of these problems, you just get it is a 10x multiplier in creativity and innovative thinking, and so that's the we're trying to provide the conduit for that, but we're also trying to live that, and I would say we are living that as an organization. We're challenging our own policies and procedures and kind of the status quo about how we've done things in the past, because we also have to model that. If we're asking our staff and our students to be change makers, then we need a structure and an organizational philosophy that actually enables that thinking.
wow, that my mind definitely gravitated towards just teaching a mindset or a modality that is so needed today in our systems, and it's not raising up the individual human to be a change maker. It's raising up that human to be an integrator and a collaborator and one that stays curious and understands the power of vulnerability and broader perspectives. And
Yeah.
uh, I think the Gen whatever we're in right now, maybe is it X? I don't know, Alpha. uh, They get it so much better than I'm an Xer. that's just part of this, just this hard wire of
Yeah,
wanting to do things together, problem solving
yeah,
together. And I think you used the quote in from a former U.S. President Obama.
mm,
We are the ones we've been waiting for.
yeah,
I think such a time as this, people coming together to solve problems that have never been solved before,
yeah.
but with a mindset that says, "I think they're solvable," right?
That's
And
right.
with that hope, right?
Yeah,
Raising that
mm,
bar of hope again,
yeah,
to say, "Well, who says we can't?"
that's
Right?
right.
Just
Yeah.
that heart set that says, "Who says we can't?"
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and a sense of, I challenge. So we've got commencement. We call it convocation coming up in a few weeks' time, and I typically will challenge our graduates to do just that. I mean, what they know, what we know, and they know is they came here for education, a quality education, what we call an unrivaled student experience. They've been there, done that. Now they're getting ready to go out into the world, if you will. And I challenge them in that way is to think about the broader world and how you make an impact. And I also encourage them to give when the time is right for them. And of course that varies for everybody, to also give back in some way to your communities, because I think that's I truly believe this. I think that's our fundamental responsibility in higher education. Like, yes, if you're coming in here to learn business accounting, absolutely, we're going to give you the accounting skills. But if that's all we do, then I don't think we're doing a service to society. And so we take that responsibility very seriously.
Mm. Yeah, there's so much happening in the world as it relates to just the whole person, right? And
Yeah.
giving back. I think it's a core element of what makes
Mhm.
one happy. I mean, it impacts the chemicals in our blood. So if you as an institution
Yeah.
can actually double down to say, yes, the accounting skill is important, um, but even more so, we're building those external skills for you
Mhm.
to understand how to thrive and be part of a prosperous community. Because I think we have enough of me, myself, and mine out there going on.
Yes, we do.
So many college presidents that I'm working with have moved from, I think over the past couple of years, from weary, right?
Mhm.
Just I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
I do all the things, I'm moving, I'm eating the right foods, but I'm still I just having a hard time
Yeah.
keeping my energy up. But that has started to drift to wary, which is a different word altogether, Kevin. It's that I'm not sure if I have what it takes to do this anymore. You strike me as somebody that has just tons of energy, but also a very hope-filled individual. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I am a glass half full. I definitely am an optimist, but I also feel, and it sounds holistic. I get that, but I came into higher ed, to make a difference, and every role I've taken on it's not about the role, it's not about the technical work. It's I want to just keep elevating that responsibility, if you will, to help make a difference. And we're responsible for thousands of students, to make a difference in their lives. And so I think that's what energizes me. And I have
Mm,
to say, like, each and every day I hear a story, either directly or I read about it, or I hear it secondhand about the great things that are happening in our institution, whether it's current students or recent graduates or alumni from 25 or 30 years ago. And I mean, to me, that's what, if I use the expression, fills my cup.
yeah.
That's what fills my cup. That's the reminder. And you're right, Joe. It's a tough slog. I mean, it is really tough right now. We've had some major federal policy changes that have, quite frankly, just dropped the international enrollment
Mm,
completely out of our institutions, which is significant drops in revenue to the tens of millions of dollars per institution. So we're going through some really tough times, tough decisions. It's kind of hard to motivate folks right now, but I think you have to come back to, like, what is our core, what is our purpose for
yeah.
being here? And you know what I say to my to the team, is that student that, currently today we have summer semester, we have over 4,000 full-time students in our summer semester these days. They're showing up to class right now. They're not caught up in federal policy changes and funding challenges. That's not for us to bring them into, and that's not for them to have to worry about. They came to us for a quality education. They came to us to help them achieve their goal, and that's what we do, and that's what we're going to do, and we do every day. And so I I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm unique. I know I've got colleagues across this country that have the same passion and attitude I do, but that's what keeps you going through the hard times and the hard days. And yeah, sometimes you look at a problem and say, "Wow, we're in this for a long time." But you have to go back to, like, what is our core business? What am I trying to achieve each and every day by showing up to work? And I think if you focus on that, it's just you. I challenge everybody to walk hallways in a post secondary institution and not put a grin on your face. If it doesn't put a grin on your face, it may be time for a vacation or perhaps
Right.
a change. But that is, that's what we have to thrive off of, because otherwise, you're right. The weight of these jobs is a lot sometimes.
And you can lose yourself in the noise of, and I mean, it's legitimate noise as
Yeah,
well that you must manage, but I see you out there doing the coffee with Kevin's and,
yeah,
playing around with TikTok,
yeah,
right? I mean, just being real and boots
yeah,
on the ground, and what I think what you look for, you will always find.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good
and you're
point.
just looking for just
Yeah,
here's a really positive,
yeah.
story, or this person really just,
Mm,
uh, emulates the values that are, at the very core of our institution. So what you look for, you're gonna find. So
yeah.
thanks for that inspiration. I hope, many of us tuning in, just got a little, an extra heartbeat, a good heartbeat out of that, because that's contagious as well. We're gonna come in for a landing. There's so many things that we could talk about. I mean, student mental health, just what's going on in the world of AI, and you got that AI in Canada, eh?
You bet we do.
What are some of the conversations that you're having around AI? I'm just curious, and then
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah. Well, many conversations. I mean, it's everywhere. Of course, we know it is, and we're having, so internally we're starting to leverage AI to help with student supports, which is great. We're leveraging AI in the classroom, which is great. And I think, again, back to our raison d'etre, the fundamental purpose is really to help our graduates find employment. So we're working very closely with industry to keep a pulse on where AI is going in our various industries. And in some cases, we do a lot of research and innovation with companies, and we're on sometimes the bleeding edge of that research with them, and then we bring that back into the classroom. So there probably is not a facet of the organization that is not leveraging AI in some way. I'd still say in some areas we're still in our infancy, and like many organizations, still wrestling with some of those big topics around AI ethics, and how far do you push AI
right.
in the teaching and learning space. But I'm a fundamental believer that it is a tool, just like we thought, the internet's a fad, it may come and go. And I mean, look at it now. We thought online learning and platforms like this were they might come and go, and look at how we're leveraging them. AI used right, with the right structure, purpose, and education of those that are using it, I think is an absolutely powerful tool that will change how we work in a variety of sectors. And so from that perspective, we are embracing it. Yeah, I think
Mm,
it's exciting. I know there's scary elements. I just don't want people to think, "Wow, this guy is so optimistic." But there are some really exciting things that I think AI will do for us, that will help us drive the economy forward and be able to do some things in a different way that actually allow people to focus their energy on their higher value opportunities.
Well, you're in one of two camps with AI right now.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
yeah,
all of us are in the we're still kind of figuring it out camp. That's
yeah,
universal, but
yeah.
there's one camp that says, "Oh, we're going to prepare over the summer to really tighten down our anti-cheating policies and all,
Right.
and more playing the reactive role to
Yeah.
defending against." But the other camp is allowing AI to do the thing that really will amplify why I got into this profession in the first
Yeah.
place.
That's
Right? Two
we-
different camps
yeah,
all
for sure.
all together. So last question, and go ahead and put your brag hat on here a little bit. If there was
Mm.
one thing that every American college should steal from Georgian immediately, what would be that one thing? It's so good. We should be pilfering it out of your back pocket.
Well, great question and a loaded one because I got to tell you, we need another hour for me to unpack everything, but I will be succinct. I would say what we have done so fundamentally well in our entire existence, and we're actually I call it doubling down on it now, is our integration with industry. Integration at so many levels: curriculum development, equipment, philanthropy, hiring co-op students, placement students, partnerships, integration with industry. We do not survive on our own. We don't try to survive on our own. In all our programs, we're partnering with industry each and every single day. And that is a bit of, I know I'm sharing this nationally in the US and maybe some viewers in Canada. I don't think it's a big secret, but that is for us has been tremendously successful and will continue to be.
Mm. Folks, the change maker leader. Kevin, thank you for showing us really what purposeful, energetic, hope filled leadership really looks like when you combine both vision with some serious action. Any last words to leave with our audience before we go?
Well, just first of all, thank you, Joe, for having me on, and to those listening, just keep up the great work you're doing. Know you're not in it alone, and leverage those around you to help through the challenges. But we have important roles.
Yeah.
Our students need us, our communities need us. So keep fighting the good fight.
Dukes up.
Yeah,
Dukes up and jersey over the shoulder pad.
Jersey over. That's right.
Right. Thanks for joining us today, folks. This has been the show reminding you that everyone deserves to live and in a community served by healthy people like this amazing person right here who are building really reliable systems that your industry partners and your entire community really deserves. With that special blend of Canadian humility, this has been fun, absolutely fun. Until next time, peace and press on.